हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण मधु माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण सदयावती माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण सुरम्य मधुर्य माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण विजय कुमारी माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्ण to all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and dandot pranam to all of you. I invite you to the early morning short Bhagavatam class, which has been organized by Radha Govinda Temple, Kulai, Mangaluru. And indeed, I invite you for and on behalf of His Grace Sri Ramanisadas Prabhuji. We start with the prayers. Prayers are very important. Om Ajnanutimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarine Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagar Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivan Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagar Lita Shri Vishakhanvitansh हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री गदाधार श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्।
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये।
शृण्वतां सुकथा कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
शृण्वतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनम्।
हृदयन्तस्तु यभद्राणि विदुनोति सुरसताम्
हृदयभद्राणि सुरसताम्।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं Bhagavata Sevaya.
नष्टप्रायेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
Bhagavati Uttama Muke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki.
भगवती
भगवती
उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी
Yesterday we completed the last chapter in the sixth canto. We're going through sixth canto, which is basically prescribed duties for mankind. And today we begin with a new chapter, the progeny of the daughters of Daksha. This as an introduction first, and then we start with sloka number 1. Madhumayi Mataji, that was before reciting, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank
That's
you,
for
thank you.
reciting.
Let us go through the introduction of it. The title is The Progeny of the Daughters of Daksha. What we learned yesterday and before that for a month or so are the Daksha Prajapati cursing Narada Muni, which involved the sons of Daksha, Haryaswas and Savalaswas, two sets of children that he produced, ultimately were brought back to Godhead. As described in this chapter, Prajapati Daksha begot 60 daughters in the womb of his wife Askni. These daughters were given in charity to various persons to increase the population. Since these offspring of Daksha were women, Narada Muni did not try to lead them towards the renounced order of life. Thus, the daughters were saved from Narada Muni. Now comes the calculation of 60 daughters, what happened, who went where. 10 of the daughters were given in marriage to Dharmaraja, 13 to Kashyap Muni, and 27 to moon god Chandra. In this way, 50 daughters were distributed, and of the other 10 daughters, 4 were given to Kashyapa, and 2 each to Bhuta, Angira, and Krishraswa. One should know that it is because of the union of these 60 daughters with various exalted personalities that the entire universe was filled with various kinds of living entities, such as human beings, demigods, demons, beasts, birds, and serpents. In other words, Askini, yes, and the Daksha Prajapati gets 60 daughters, and these 60 daughters are distributed to various personalities, wherein ultimately they produce lot many children, which fills up the whole universe. This time, as said here, Daksha was very cautious to beget daughters only instead of sons, so that Narada Muni would not reach there and request them to undergo renunciation and going back to Godhead. This is because the women in our Sanatana Dharma are never required to renounce their life. When they marry their husband, they share all the benefits that husband is doing, all the pious activities that he does, and that automatically liberates her as part and parcel. It's like two doing a business and sharing the profit. So Daksha and Askini get 60 daughters. The other way to look at it is the 10 daughters were married to Dharmaraja. I believe Dharmaraja and Yamaraja are same, right? 17 daughters married to Kashyapa, 27 daughters married to moon god Chandra, and 2 daughters each married to Angira, Krisasva, and Bhuta. This is the calculation of 60 daughters. Let's see what happens further. Please raise your hand whoever wants to recite the verse. Verse number 1. Sukadeva Vacha Tataha Prasetaso Sikyarham Anunditaha Swayambhuva Sastim Santanayam Asa Dohitra Pitra Vatsalaha Madhumai Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
అది
Hare Krishna,
సంజనాయ
Prabhuji.
మాత ప్రభు సంతానయ కాదు సంజనాయ హరే కృష్ణ.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Tataha Prachetaso Asiknyam. Anunitaha Swayambhuva. Shashtim Sanjanayamasa Duhitruhu Pitruvatsalah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Usha Dayavati Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Sukha Uvacha Tata Praseto Asiknyam Anunito Swayambhuvaha Sashtim Sanjanayam Asha Duhitru Pitravatsalah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Venkata Narasimha Rao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sri Sukavacha Tatha Prachetasah Siknamya Anunetaha Swayambhuva Sashtim Sanjanayamasa Duhiritu Pitruvatsalaha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you. Madhu Soni Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Madhu Soni Mataji.
प्रभुजी दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभुजी.
Hello.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. श्रीशुक उवाच ततः प्राचेतसो असिक्नयाम अनूनितः स्वयंभुवा षष्ठीं संजनायामास दुहृतः पितृवत्सला. थैंक यू प्रभुजी. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you. Sramya Madhvi Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी. श्री शुक उवाच ततः प्राचेतसोऽसिक्न्याम् अनुनीतः स्वयंभुवः षष्ठीं संजनयामास दुहितृः पितृवत्सलः. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you. Pran Nandini Madhvi Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्री शुक उवाच ततः प्रचेतस असिज्ञाम् अनुनीतः स्वयंभुवः षष्ठीं संजनयम् आसः दुहितृ पितृवत्सलः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, थैंक यू।
Thank you. Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Nanda Pranam.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंड प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्री सुक उवाच ततः प्राचेतसोऽसिक्ताम् अनुनीता स्वयंभुवा षष्ठीं संजनयामास दुह्ऋतुं पितृवत्सलाः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Vijaya Kumari Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्री शुक उवाच तदा प्रयदर्शसो अशिज्ञा मनुनीत संभुव षष्ठीं संजनयामास दुहितृ पितृवत्सला। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। श्री शुक उवाच ततः प्रचोदोस् असिक्या मुनिनाथः स्वयंभुवः षष्ठीं संजनयाम् आस दुहुद रूह पितृवत्सलः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Revati Ratnagi Mataji. Can you read the synonyms for us?
यस प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण। Sri Sukha Uvacha, Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Tataha, after that incident, Prasideshaha, Daksha Ashiknayam, in his wife named Ashikni, Anudaha, pacified Swayambhuva by Lord Brahma, Sashtim 60 Sanjanayam Asa begot Duhiritraha daughters Pitravatsalaha, all very affectionate to their father. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Revati Mataji. Thank you. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, thereafter, at the request of Lord Brahma, Prajapati Daksha, who is known as Prasetasa, begot 60 daughters in the womb of his wife, Asikni. All the daughters were very affectionate towards their father. Purport. After the incidents concerning the loss of his many sons, Daksha repented his misunderstanding with Narada Muni. Lord Brahma then saw Daksha and instructed him to beget children again. This time Daksha was very cautious to beget female children instead of male children, so that Narada Muni would not disturb them by urging them to accept the announced order. Females are not meant for the renounced order of life. They should be faithful to their good husbands. For if a husband is competent for liberation, his wife will also achieve liberation with him. As stated in Shastra, the results of husband's pious activities are shared by his wife. Therefore, a woman's duty is to be very chaste and faithful to her husband. Then, without separate endeavor, she will share in all the profits the husband earns. In our philosophy, and probably in most of the religions, the basic concept is that husband and wife are considered as unit in all the societies. And this unit is compared with two wheels of chariot. The chariot can only propagate working. It's not both that are working only, but they are working simultaneously and in synchrony with each other. In short, both of them must be so perfectly attuned so that their movement, their rhythm, and their pace is same like each other, and thus the chariot runs forward in a smooth speed. This is the basic concept, and children are produced out of the wedlock of this chariot concept, who then sits on the chariot and goes forward in life. Since there are two wheels, they are actually opposing each other. And this is how the concept of male and female dominance was developed. Both of them are dominant, but both of them are dominant in different sphere of life. Husband is dominant working outside the world, facing the world and fighting with the world. His job is to earn livelihood for him, for his family, and all other dependents, including some for the renounced order people in the world. Wife's duty is whatever the earning that comes in is spent so coherently and so well to run the family, to raise the children, and then to nourish them. Though we all have a feeling that the Western world is a bad world or a notorious world because of their conception about these very family. Still, if you may not believe that in Switzerland, more than 98% of the women are looking after the household. Switzerland is the only country which got their women folk to start voting in 1973. What I'm trying to say is we all are same, existing on the face of the earth. We respect women more than anyone else. This I have experienced firsthand. That there is virtually not that respect that you see elsewhere overseas. We have a kind of a respect that is across the board for a woman. It is because we consider some in the form of demigods. We not only respect them, but we respect these women and worship them. And in our Sanatan religion, we call them Shakti or source of energy. As far as voting rights are concerned, women voted equally like men 6,000 years ago in Madhya Pradesh. So equal rights and equal voting has been in our religion, our concept and our society from very beginning and has been still existing. The domain is only different, and that's why somehow, sometimes it is felt that women are compulsorily pressed upon and are subordinate. If you look at the house also, probably women have a very strong say there because they are connected with the house 24 hours a day. Whereas the manfolk is only connected with the house 24 hours minus 8 to 10 hours that he spends going out in the world for earning. And it is very rightly so, because if you look at any house, about children, about family, and about relations, woman of the house would know much more in detail and precisely than a man of the house. And that's why it has been said that a woman is the queen of the house and man is the king of the world. There is, however, to run the chariot smoothly, there is some distinction by dividing the duties. And in this form, because women are very emotional, they always need some support and some protection because they're not going to go out and fight. They are being given as a responsibility to protect and maintain at different stages of life by different people, as you very well know. In the beginning, when they are children and adolescent and young girls, they are being looked after by the parents, father. In the young age and the age of creating progeny, looked after by husband. And either when the husband is gone for Vanaprastha or Sannyasasana, looked after by his sons. These looking after is a kind of a overseeing and protection and not slavery. However, as manfolk undergoes 4 ashramas, and after 50 years, up to 75 years, when he is in a one prasthashram, he is living, though in the house, getting himself detached, and after 75, when he enters sannyasashram, he leaves the home and goes into the jungle. This was a previous way of living the life. Now, when he lives with the family, he lives with almost complete detachment. But such an order of ashrama has not been prescribed for women. Women folk remains continuously in the same mode, but they have a special right that their husband, whatever pious activities he does, is also shared equally. This is simply because husband cannot do a pious activity unless it is encouraged and supported by a woman. It's not just a saying that every successful man has a woman behind it. That's the real truth, because women are very dedicated. They are very sensitive, and emotional support only can be done by women. This is what Srila Prabhupada is explaining here in detail and saying that that's the reason that Daksha Prajapati had all the daughters who were very loving daughters, loving to their father. And he got the daughters so that at least third time his mission of getting children, begetting the world populated, would not fail completely. The purport also explains that the entire material manifestation being with all the living entities are the entities that are being produced by these 60 women with various people. And then it goes into the nitty-gritty of how many to whom. It's a real perception. And I think we all should not misunderstand that someone is more powerful than other. It's only the area, and that's why now people who have less abilities or are handicapped are not called handicapped. They are called differently challenged. They have different challenges. Each one has different challenges. And so men and women are all equal in all strength. Only thing is certain things are better with women than men. And the same way, the other things are probably better in men than women. This perception is really very important, because perceiving things makes the world go, and whatever perceiving we have creates the thinking. And you know very well that all the thinking ultimately leads to action, habits, and character. So ultimately, it's always what we perceive and what we think, which is very, very important than anything else. If we look at Krishna conscious movement, the greatest revolution that Srila Prabhupada brought and very successfully spearheaded was including women in the congregation. If you look at it, women are more than 60-70% than the male form. And as Navanista Das Prabhuji very nicely explains, if we really look at it, the fellow women companions that we have in Krishna conscious movement, they are more perfectly aligned with the devotion, with the perception of part of the God and dedication than the male form, because we do not have that strong way of dedication. We rather ask people to dedicate us, and that's fairly wrong thing in spiritual area. Women are dedicated in the young age to their parents, in the young age, in the later age to their husband, and in the old age to their children. This virtue of dedication is very, very important in the spiritual area, where only your dedication, faith, and ultimately developing Nistha that helps you, Nistha or steadiness, that helps you to propagate further in the spiritual path. And that's why it's fairly easy for women to do that. And they always do it so well. So many things that we can learn in Krishna conscious movement from these perception and dedication. Daksha Prajapati was offended and cursed. Here there is one sentence that Daksha repented his misunderstanding with Narada Muni. Ultimately, in the beginning, when the picture is not clear, we always make a hasty decision. And those hasty decisions in quick moments are sometimes filled with anger as well. And that's why our decisions are wrong and our anger is futile. They all, both of them only cause damage. And that's why there is a saying in English that when you need to make a decision in any moment, you wait till the dust gets settled, picture gets clear, and then making a decision is very easy, and you always make a right decision. So until the picture gets clear, you are not making a decision. You are actually gambling with the decision, and that gamble may turn out to be right or wrong. And that's why Daksha gambled with his decision making, tried and blamed Narada Muni for everything that went wrong around him without realizing that Narada Muni had done nothing wrong. He actually is giving devotees a possibility of going back to Godhead and making devotees. So he was just doing his duties. And his sons were so pious and so least materially contaminated that it was probably easy for them to go back rather than entering into the material contamination, getting entangled, and ultimately become a conditioned soul with a huge efforts, as we all are doing now, to go back to Godhead. So that area Daksha realizes, and that's why it's written here, he repents his misunderstanding. The moral of the story is never make a hasty decision. Most of the decision making doesn't require quick decision. Those kind of decisions are only needed in the question of life and death. Otherwise, let the things settle down. Let the dust settle down. Let everything become clear to you. And then you make an appropriate decision with the help of appropriate advice and intelligence. In short, this purport and this verse tells us very nicely that Daksha learns his lesson. He understands his mistake. He takes extra precaution by begetting daughters, not the sons. And these daughters, by marrying to various personalities, ultimately makes the living entities which fill up the material manifestation. And Daksha is succeeding in following and observing his instructions given by Brahma. any question, any doubts, any revelation, any addition, we are going to go further and further into more detail of the progeny of the daughters of Daksha in the whole chapter. And some of them are going to be in real detail, where we would find ourselves really entangled in the names which are not familiar to you and familiar to me, and the events that occurs along. But that's the whole chapter of. Any question, any doubts, any commentary, any addition, please go ahead. Feel free to do that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Madhusoni Mataji.
Yeah, two reflections are there, Prabhuji. First, the basic wish of Daksha is still intact. Like he wanted to always wish to keep his children's be with him. So this time he took the side path. He wished for daughter, so Narad Muni cannot take them. And I don't know how to see this. And second, Prabhuji, here it is written like a wife should be faithful to their good husbands. It's like that's why in Indian system, like marriage is very serious and important issues. The concept is given here. So because the husband has power to liberate his wife, so that's what I think. That's what I think. Uh,
Yeah.
like marriages are so important in terms of Hare
Yes,
Krishna. Prabhu.
yes, Madhuswani Mataji, you are absolutely right. The reason for getting the daughter, as I understand it, the purport is on the simple reason that this time Daksha never wanted any interference in his endeavor to create children, and thus he doesn't get sons. These not getting sons would certainly prevent Narad Muni to approach women, because he cannot ask them to renounce themselves, and thus he cannot interfere in the further going back to Godhead process. So he then got a safer side and got the daughters. That's one thing. Second thing you said about the man and woman. Man, what did you say, Mataji? I'm sorry.
No, it's like Prabhupada has written here to faithful to their good husbands, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
So that's
okay,
why
yeah,
Indian system, like they
yeah,
always search for good match actually. So the concept is given here. So
yeah. Basically, if you really look at it, a chaste wife and a faithful wife always keeps the home together. We human beings are such that we ourselves are very smart, or at least consider ourselves very smart. There is nothing in this world that goes unnoticed. Whatever is happening in and around us, we always perceive one way or the other. Whether we act on it or we do not act on it, whether we consider it sinful or not consider it sinful, is another issue. But at least by staying for more than 20 years in the West, I have seen what is the meaning of chaste and faithful, where women are very advanced or very independent. Sex becomes like shaking hand, and it is so easily perceived that our Indian folk can't imagine. That's okay. That's the way they want to live, and that's the way they have to live. That's their freedom of choice. However, I have also seen the other side. When such are the situations, it is the same women who are not being respected, honored, or even protected as they should be. Even if we are at the middle of night, see a girl or a woman walking, we try to see that we support and see that she's home safely. That does not exist. That mentality does not exist. The mentalities are such that how best can one take advantage. And these creates and produces situations where I have seen with my own eyes women being thrown out of a house middle of night, and so many quarrels and other things going on. In other words, what I'm trying to say is the chaste character and the faithfulness that otherwise does exist to many of the Indian household very well still really creates a feeling in a man to protect, preserve, and respect and honor human the women form. This is very, very important to keep the unit of the family and the house intact, and as if that's a kingdom of that woman and is protected. I consider this the argument really. Does this make some sense, Madhuswani Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, I was looking at like another side of it, like good husband means Prabhupada has given the parameter for husbands also, because they have power to liberate one more soul or like whole family. So that's what I was looking for.
Yes, Mataji, that's true. I was looking out only at a women's side, but you are right. That edition of Prabhupada is also lovely. Thank you very much for adding that, Mataji. That's an added revelation. Wonderful. Thank you for that reference. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Here,
Madhuvai Mataji.
here one peculiar thing is Daksha was very cautious to beget female children. So he was intentionally getting female children. It means that he was capable of choosing whether female or the daughters or sons.
Yes.
Yes. Huh? He
Yes.
was having that ability to choose, which is, somewhat,
Yeah. So you are trying to tell that these
Yeah.
abilities is existing or not, right?
Yeah, Prabhuji, nowadays people, they want, male children. They ask, how to beget, how to avoid female. Those things are common for doctors, for us to deal with. We say no techniques,
Yeah.
naturally. Yeah, it is a choice. There is no choice in it. It's by chance, by your whatever your destiny. But here, Daksha was very cautious to beget. Means he was capable of choosing female children.
I must tell the rest
You
of the
understand?
congregation that Madhumai Mataji is a professor of gynecology, and so she is asking this question, obstetric and gynecology. It has been said that choosing children has a special sastra, and there are terms and conditions given there how to choose a male child and how to choose a female child. I know they are existing and they are quite in detail. I don't know is whether they are true or they are functioning or they are working that way. Otherwise, we know the Garbhadhara and Sanskara. Similarly, there are certain methods by which you should perform the intercourse at certain time and things like that. There are so many things mentioned there. But there is a Shastra which actually allows you to choose a male child or a female child. That much I know. I know the present science is such, as you are saying very rightly, that it is merely a chance and nothing else. Rest of the things the science has proved at the moment is all that bullshit that we talk. So So there are two contradictory views for the present science and the Sanatan Dharma. Does that make some sense, Madhumai Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, because if the science has achieved that sex selective techniques, and they used
Yeah.
to do, and now that is the government has banned all this because of female
Yes.
deficiency or
Yes.
female ratio is reduced.
Yeah,
So now,
that's the selection. You see, you find out that the woman is conceived, and then find out whether there is a boy or a girl inside. If it's a girl, then just carry on with the with removal, and if it's boy, continue with the pregnancy. That's selection. That's wrong. Yes, Mataji, that's true. That's true.
yes, Prabhuji, thank you, Prabhuji, because he was capable of choosing the female. That was
Yeah.
very interesting. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Then
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Shakti Mataji. Yes, please go ahead.
actually, Prabhuji, what just occurred to me is just see how Daksh Prajapati, after suffering that twice his sons went and become ascetic. What he decided is he is going to have the progeny of daughters. Like, and being a true Vaishnav also, he accepted that he has done wrong by cursing Narad Muni. So what I just thought is that he is following the order of his father, matlab the true Vaishnav Lord Brahma, so willfully that he wants this to happen. And another thing is that the daughters, they are the beginners of this universe, means they are the initiators who brought the progeny to this world. And he thought while bringing the daughters was daughters will not move away. So that was the rules, from where the rules have started. Actually, this is what I was thinking, that the daughters are the one who will take care of house, who will take care of the families, and this is how the progenies will proceed, means this is how the world will be formed. So this is such a beautiful thinking of Sanatan Dharma, that daughters are the one who can be who can bring lots of happiness in the world. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
That's true, Mataji. That it has been not only perceived but always been proved that woman of the house creates a steadiness in the house, pleasures in the house, and pleasantness in the house or blissfulness. So it is the role of the women which changes everything into the household. About the Brahma being the father of Daksha, I'm not too sure, because the other day Subarao Prabhuji was saying that this Daksha is different. The Daksha of Brahma was different. This is a Daksha who has come from Prachetas. So anyway, but your concept of thinking is very true and very aligned with the Srila Prabhupada's explanation. Thank you for your revelation. There was someone else also who was saying something. Hare Krishna. Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That's what I wanted to ask. Swati Mataji, she has asked. Then another thing is, Mataji was telling, selecting girl and boy and all. I heard from Chinese, they have certain this thing. Because my niece used to help her out, her brother and sister, to get one boy and one girl. Like that, she has done it, and they are very successful. I don't know what she follows. I asked her. She said, "Oh, no, it is just like this thing only." She said she didn't want to reveal anything.
This is like,
being elder to her.
My son has a daughter and a boy. Where you succeed, you can say that it worked, but you do not know, number one. Number two, how many chances you get. You get only one or two chances because there are not many who are going to follow these days. So, yes, there are things that are mentioned, and there are quite extensive things mentioned in our Dharma, in all the old religions. It has been mentioned. I don't know whether they work or not. So that's something that is real personal. Thank you, Shadayavati Mataji, for your editing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji, Chinese charts are there for a long time. That's the people bring and ask those Chinese
Sorry?
charts and say whether this is okay or whatever it is. That is popular for such a long time. These Chinese
Yes.
charts.
Yeah. It is. Thank you very much for creating a very good interactive discussion.
Prabhuji, one question.
Yes,
Prabhuji, one
Sugandhi.
question. What if the husband is a drunk, alcoholic, thief, beating the wife? Then still the wife should be honest to the and be what you call be with such a husband in that sense. Feel for him as is described.
See, Mataji, I'll tell you, when husband and wife, they marry, both of them marry on an equal term. So if husband is drunkard, wife has a right to leave the husband. Wife also has a right to convert him into a normal human being if it is possible. But when she feels that she is unable to do that, she has all right to convert to get him out of her life. Because drunkard or gambler or people like that, they are notorious people. And if somehow these husbands actually pretend so nicely that a woman gets into them, and then they realize what they've gone into. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Sugandhi.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you very much for attending the class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Such
Yes.
things did happen during Daksha's period? Like how a husband is drunkard and wife, she can just send him off and all. Has it happened in Shastras in the olden period?
Mataji, very frankly telling you, I am like you and we are all sailing in the same boat. I have been going on in the 6th canto for the first time.
Yes.
So I am not a right person, but we'll ask that question to Prema Kishori Mataji, who has been through twice. So we'll certainly ask her. Thank you, Sadayavati.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for attending the class, making it very interactive and nice. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripasindhubhya evacha patita nama pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo name namah. All of you have a wonderful Krishna conscious day and thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.